was perfect. I heard money in there. You kind of gave away the theme, but that's okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to July. I'm Reverend Karyl Huntley, and I love looking out at the faces as you come in. I can see that some people are back from vacation. I'm happy that you're back. And others are off on some faces that I haven't seen in a while. It's wonderful. Okay, you're here at the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, where our vision is awakening personal transformation, and our mission is teaching tools for positive change. And as I was creating this talk today, I thought, I wish everybody could hear this talk. I'm really happy with it. Yeah. So just to let you know, you're in for the truth, and perhaps some uncomfortable truth, but that's where the growing edge is. So to remind everybody, this is our theme for the year, your joyous life. We all deserve that, and we all can have that. There's nothing standing in the way of us having a joyful life, except maybe something in us, which is, that growing part. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. That's the joyous life. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. At least as much of each one of those as we need to accomplish our purpose in life. That's what we require. That's what is here for us. And if we're not getting it, this is your Sunday, I'm telling you. If we are suffering or unhappy in one of those areas, health, wealth, love, happiness, if we're unhappy, if we're lacking, it is us that is out of balance. And if we are out of balance, it's because something is amiss in us, not in life or in God. So I'll say that again. It's a nicer way to say, if you have the pain, you have the problem. That's true too. But what I'm saying is, if you are unhappy or out of balance in one of those areas of your life, it is something that you can fix, only you. Because there's nothing wrong with God. There is nothing wrong with life. All of the gifts have been given and are continuously given. And if you aren't at the party, it's because you have not brought yourself to the party. And I say that not with scolding, not with harshness. That's the truth. And that's where we all are needing to work. Some people, a lot of people come into metaphysics and you are told you're perfect, whole, and complete and you can have everything. And they go, wow, I really like this place. This is great. But then when we say, you're the one that has to do the work and you're the one that has to make the changes, it somehow gets more difficult. And we can't just blame a judgmental God. We can't blame that our prayers are wrong. There's something else that is in us that can be changed. So this whole year, we are working through this book, The Happiness Project. And there's a lot of great to-dos. Every chapter has assignments for you to do, and then I fill in with spiritual principle. So the reason that this month is about money is because July is about money in the book. That's it, So rather than throw us all off by putting something else in here, money's really good to work on. So what they want us to do is indulge in a modest splurge, buy some needful things, spend out, and you'll have to read the book to see what that means, and then give up something. So I'm not going to talk about those things because I'm going to fill in with spiritual principle. So the principle that we're working with this month is money is God in action. Why? Because God is all there is. There can't be anything in our world that is the exception to this. So God is all over your money. And that's all that's all over your money, except whatever emotional state and activity you put on it. But as far as God is concerned, money is as sacred as any other thing. And if this makes you uncomfortable in any way, if anybody is thinking any of those thoughts like, oh, there she goes talking about money again, or oh, yep, that is your mind that it is calling for healing, because I'm just telling you the truth, that God is all there is, and therefore money is God in action. And so if you have challenges or pain around money, it's not about luck, it's not about your parents, it's not about Greece defaulting, and it's not about any political party. And so what I'm going to do, I mean, just putting it out there, if that was one of the thoughts in your mind. So I'm going to offer you and myself some healing ideas for us to incorporate in this month. And somehow it doesn't exactly have to do with the amount of money or any conditions that are around money in your life. I'll tell you a little story about a couple of people when I was a very, very young, early minister. I was never a very young minister. I went into the ministry in midlife, but an early minister. So in the same week, I had two people call me for prayer about money. One of them was a dentist who, and this was a long time ago because I think the figure was he had $4,000 coming in a month. That's not very much for a dentist these days. And he had $5,000 worth of bills. And he was scared to death. $4,000 coming in, $5,000 going out. Anybody doing arithmetic knows that that's not sustainable. I had another person call me, and in order to make his life work, this was when there were still pay phones, and the pay phones cost 20 cents. He had 80 cents, and he needed to make 5 phone calls. I thought that was so amazing because it's the same ratio. It's that these two people had 80% of the money that they needed, and 20% was missing. And the feeling state they had was exactly the same. So it's not about the amount of money. It's about the consciousness around money. So this is our goal for the month, which is get happy with your money. And so what I'm wanting us to do is go beyond merely letting go of pain. I want us to get all the way to happy. Happy with our money. How many are with me here? Okay, most of you. And I'm assuming that the people that don't want to get happy with your money is that you're already pretty darn happy with your money, but there's a place for you this month too. So, so we're going to heal anything that feels painful, fearful, or unbalanced, and we're going to do this from a spiritual perspective. And before I go any further, I want you to notice this is not pledge season. This is a series of talks about money, and I'm not going to ask you for any of it. Okay, so just get that out of your mind. That's coming, but it's coming in October. All right, it's not now. This is for you and for me and our consciousness. So I think everybody wants a happy relationship with money, but what I've noticed is that people are so sad and so stuck that they can't go out dreaming. They can't feel what it might be like to be comfortable with money. It is it's a shameful, distressing part of their life, and the faster they can get through paying their bills or most of their bills, that's the best that can happen. And I'm here to tell you that is not the best that can happen. It is far from the best. So if you do, I made a little joke, if you do have a great relationship with money, the principles that I'm talking about this month, of course, work with everything. And I'm betting that if you have good, happy money, there's something else in your life that needs working on. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here because it just seems like earthly life is a big learning lodge about something. And if you're not learning anything, maybe you're teaching it, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't have some things to learn. So the title today is How to Experience Happy Money. So considering health, love, and happiness, along with wealth, we have very similar desires about all of these aspects of life. Health, love, happiness, and money, we want some, right? We want it. That's our relationship with all of those areas of life. And so if through these, because the principles are the same, whether we talk about love or money, they're the same. So if we get into healing your life through healing money, then everything has a great opportunity to heal. Because any way into a life is a doorway to heal. That's why pain and suffering is really a doorway into healing if you let it be. God doesn't give us pain and suffering just to, annoy us. It's not, it is salutary to healing. That's what Ernest Holmes, our founder, says. So, in life, we don't want some things. First of all, we don't want fear in any of those areas of our life. We don't want anger in any of those areas of our life. We don't want resistance in any of those areas of our life. And we don't want worry. We don't want these things in health, love, happiness, or money. And this, incidentally, is why this talk is going to work for everybody, because if you have any of these things anywhere, fear, anger, resistance, or worry, it's impacting your joyful life. And I would not be a good minister to you if I did not work at healing all of this for us. So here's an example that doesn't have to do with money, and maybe it's easier for us to see about how money works in the same way. If you have resistance in love, you're unhappy and out of balance. You're feeling isolated. You're feeling lonely. You're feeling like there's some things that aren't said. You're feeling not great about relationships and love in your life. And healing means something has to go on in you and in me, if this is our condition. Something has to go in us in order to heal that resistance, right? You with me? Okay. So let's talk about anger in health. Some of us have had some occasions in our life when our body just feels like, whose body is this anyway, and what are you doing to me? And so we have some anger around our health, and it colors our whole life. Our healing is changing something in us, not necessarily in the condition. And knowing that all conditions conspire for our great good. That's how we get happy about anything. So any of these states around money makes us unhappy. The worry, the fear, the resistance, the antagonism, the anger, all of that. There's so much unhappiness around money that we don't tend to look at it. And there's so much projection about the discomfort. It's not because of me, it's because of the political situation, it's because of big government, it's because of the big business, it's because of my partner, or whatever. And we blame all sorts of things. And if you're, I could be projecting all this too. But when I hear about pain around money, this is some of the things that come up. So we're not going to stay in what we don't want. Only to look at it long enough to say, yep, I got that and I don't want it. So this is what we do want in life. We want comfort in all of those areas, right? We want peace of mind in all of those areas. We want a sense of well-being in all of those areas. And we want some joy in all of those areas. Now, spiritual principle says that these gifts, comfort, peace of mind, sense of well-being, and joy, and more, are already given. That's what the spiritual principle says, that God has already given us these things. And it is up to us to accept them. So we must have, we can have these gifts without the conditions changing. And here's the part that I wish I could tell you an easier way, but I can't. We must have these states of being before conditions change. We must be able to say, I was in fear and now I'm in gratitude. I was in anger and now I'm in comfort. And when we can conjure those feeling states within us, then it's like this is the miracle that happens. The miracle that happens is that conditions seem to change after we have changed the feeling state within. That title that Wayne Dyer has on one of his books, Believe It and Then You'll See It, is exactly right. So I've got 3 ways for us to think about money that can help us shift the feeling state, okay? All right? Are you? I'm seeing some eyes glaze over. It can only, if you're in pain now, it can only get better. I'm telling you, it can only get better. Okay, first of all, money is like a river. I just want you to think about this. Money is like every living system that you know about. I know we don't think about money as a living system, but it helps to think about it as a living system. Because every river needs to flow. The blood in our vein needs to flow. The weather flows. When you look at a beautiful picture of our planet from space, there are all these swirly, swirly, swirly clouds. The weather is moving. And because of the tilt of the planet, the seasons flow. And so all of these things are living systems, and they're moving. And so when we put our money into circulation with gratitude, excitement, and anticipation, and not fear, it's good for the whole system. Because non-movement isn't good for living systems. And if your money isn't moving, it's dead. And all of the good that it can bring into your life is absent because it's not flowing. So anytime money leaves you from buying lunch or paying bills, or if you do it online, whatever it is that you do, when money is flowing because of an activity that you are doing, think of it as health and beauty and love, and accompany it with gratitude. Janet, what's the name of your CD? Abundant Blessings. Janet, and if you don't have a, Janet, stand up for a sec. Okay, so Janet has this great CD that has music and song and affirmations for you to use when you're paying your bills, so you can get yourself into this happy state when you send your money flowing, right? There you go.
Available on my website, janetcarolbryan.com, or via CD.
There you go. There you go. Everybody, she should see like about 50 of those babies go out the door, because that's what, it helps with your money flowing. Okay. Einstein was once asked, I tell this story, you can answer it. What did Einstein say when they said, what do we know for sure? Something is moving. That is right. Thank you, Rick. Something is moving, and actually everything that's alive is moving, everything. And so if you want life in any area of your life, move it. If you want love in your life, go give some. If you want more life force in your life, go spend it, go exercise. If you want happiness in your life, go create happiness for somebody. That's the movement. Everything moves, okay? Next one. Money is like a magnifying glass. Now, the principle of this is that what we put our attention on increases, and the emotional charge that we add also increases. So, for example, if you have fear around money and you sit there in that fear around money, you are actually growing your fear around money. It is increasing in your life. If you believe that there is not enough, you are going to continually have the experience of there not being enough. If, however, with your movement of money, you accompany it with gratitude, you're going to get happier about your money. You're going to have more things to be grateful for. And if you believe that there is always enough, which is actually pretty easy to conjure because there's always enough air for your next breath. And anytime you want to meditate on enough, all you have to do is do a breath meditation and say with every in-breath, there is always enough. There is always enough. There is always enough. And if you believe there is always enough, there will be always enough for you. There will be enough money, there will be enough love, there will be enough health, and there will be enough happiness. And if this positive belief seems so far away, if you realize this is true, that money is like a magnifying glass, and you know that your thinking is crappy about it, and to go all the way to positive is too much, see a practitioner. Because what the practitioners can do is offer you baby steps. You don't have to go to all the way to, I am so happy with my money. They can give you some baby steps to work with, and that's the way we grow. But the way we don't grow is to throw up your hands and say, I can't do this. You can. You absolutely can. You can change anything in your life. And lastly, what I'm talking about this morning is money is like time. So with our ticket to Earth, there are some things that are not in the formless realm. The flow of time is one, and the flow of money is another. And so money like we have it on Earth doesn't appear, I don't imagine, exactly that way in God's realm, although God is all over it here. And time exists differently all over the universe. I mean, our time is specifically for this planet. And so when you incarnated on this planet, a couple of things you got were time and money. And those things are a part of your life lessons here on Earth that you can't just blow off. So they are absolutely responsive to consciousness. They are absolutely responsive to belief, both time and money. They're very similar in that they are to be used to our advantage by our choices. Time and money are to be used to our advantage by our choices. So for you to ask yourself, how will I spend this gift of a day, is how we spend our time. How will I spend the money that comes to me, is how we spend our money. Questions like, what brings the greatest good, both in time and money, are very good questions to ask yourself at the beginning of each day. So I'm going to read to you a little section here in this book under the concept of, can money buy happiness? Because that's something that people that have an issue around money kind of throw out. Well, money can't buy happiness. But you know what? Money can support what does make you happy. And it is a life lesson on this earth plane, just like the wise use of time. So here's what she says. I decided to find ways to spend to further my happiness goals. Studies show that people's basic psychological needs include the need to feel secure, to feel good at what they do, to be loved, to feel connected to others, and to have a strong sense of control. Money doesn't automatically fill these requirements, but it sure can help. People at every level of income can choose to direct their spending in ways that take them closer to happiness, or not. So can it direct, if you have money in your hand, are you happier? Maybe not exactly, but what that money can do for you can make you happier. So my example is, see this little fuchsia on the altar? I have in my backyard a couple of very shady beds, and they get shadier as the shrubbery around them grows taller. And so most of you know that I have a lot of roses in my backyard. So I had to move the roses out of those shady beds because the roses really didn't like all the shade. So I went to the nursery and looked at the plants that do like shade, and there were fuchsias. Now, I love fuchsias. The last time I had fuchsias of my own were in 1971. I bought myself 3 $4 fuchsias, and I put them in the shady bed, and I blessed them. And now is that the most beautiful flower? It's so beautiful. I love the fuchsias, and I've taken to cutting them and putting them in rose bouquets. And Mary and Amanda said, I never knew you could put fuchsias in a cut bouquet, and they are making me so happy. Why I waited, how many years since 1971 to buy myself this happiness for $12? I am so happy. And you see what I'm doing here? Not only did I buy myself a present, but I'm saying, good job, Karyl, and get all the happiness out of these girls as you possibly can. Of course they're girls, right? Of course they're girls. So, I mean, I love fuchsias, and I am so happy that I bought myself. So your assignment is to, buy something that makes you happy. So I want to go back and tell you another story because it doesn't exactly fit in here, but I want to tell you probably the most miraculous money story of my life, and it actually fits in with money is like a magnifying glass. So just go back there for a minute with me. Here's the most miraculous money story that I have ever had in my life. And it happened in 2002 when my son and I were college shopping. And we went to some colleges on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and we were doing our little Midwest tour. And we were at Oberlin Conservatory of Music, and Michael is a musician. And so I had been lobbying for a 4-year college because I just think a rounded education is important. But here we were at the Oberlin Conservatory of Music, and he said, this is where I want to go. And not only did he say, this is where I want to go, but he had already auditioned, and the person who had judged his audition personally came to me and said, your son is the kind of person we want at this school. And so it was like, every single thing was indicating that Michael needed to go to Oberlin except the money. I mean, this is a private Midwest college, and it was very, very steep. And we had already put in for a financial aid, and he'd already been packaged. That's the word. So the package came, and it wasn't good enough. And so we were walking around campus, and I said to Michael, honey, I do not have the money for this. I do not know how we're going to do this, and I have to save some money for Mel to go to college. You know, I got 2 of you. I don't know what we're going to do. Michael was the one who said, no, I am going to Oberlin. And he wasn't like belligerent, or he didn't shame me or anything like that. He just was very clear that he was going to Oberlin. And so I said, okay, all right. We went physically to the financial aid office, and I was like unclear about what could be done. So they looked at the application, and they said, oh, you've done this incorrectly. Let me fix it. Oh, no, you can get a lot more money. So they gave us a lot more money. And at that point, I was thinking, maybe we could swing this. Then after that, Michael got some more grants, so that knocked off some money. And then I did my income tax for that year, and Something happened to my income that if I looked at my income, I would say, oh, this is not good. But I sent it to Oberlin, and Oberlin said, oh, well, we're going to redo your package. And so I got more money. And in fact, I was like on first name basis with the girls in the financial office. And they actually said to me, we have redone your son's package more than anybody else I have ever known. And so he got to go to Oberlin, and I didn't have to, hawk my life. I just paid for the little bit extra that they wanted. That's a miracle. And it really... and who could have written that ahead of time? It was my son's clarity that got him in. And me just kind of saying, well, okay, we're going to go with his consciousness. That's it. So, okay, back to this. How good is this, right? This is the most important. However good this first part was, this is the best. To change our experience, these things must also change. First of all, we must change our belief. We must change our belief about wealth, about the wealthy, about the use of our money, about the potential money can change lives for the better. We need to change our belief about how money can be life-giving, positive, uplifting, fulfilling, and we have to have happy beliefs about our money, and that has to change. If you have unhappy beliefs about money, you can't be happy about your money with unhappy beliefs about your money. You have to change your beliefs. There are all kinds of ways to change your beliefs, from getting a practitioner prayer to taking classes to coming every single Sunday. This is our stock and trade. Change your thinking, change your life is out there on the bulletin thing. That's what we do. But in addition to changing your beliefs, you have to change your feeling about money. You have to change your feeling. Fear must be replaced with faith, and anger must be changed with good humor. Resistance has to be changed into embracing, and overwhelm has to be changed into order. So if you're angry about your money, going anywhere else in your feeling state that is happy is the way to go. You don't have to jump into happiness about money, but you have to go someplace happy. You cannot dwell in anger about money and be happy about it. And so there are baby steps to doing this. Just going anywhere that is joyful in your body-mind system is the place to go when you find yourself conjuring negative thoughts that you know will bring negative experience. But in addition to changing beliefs and feelings, you have to change your speech. You can't talk about how there's not enough. You cannot talk about how bad the big businesses are, or how you have to talk about how great good can be done with money. And you have to talk about how money sent in empowering directions is so good for everybody. You have to talk about there's always more where that came from. More, and you have to listen for other people's positive talk about money. Just like I listen to my son. You have to listen for those positive attributes about money and then claim them for yourself. And then finally, after belief and feeling and speech, you have to do something different. You have to change your actions. You have to, we all have to do something positive with your money. Give to homeless, buy somebody's lunch, put a $20 bill in an envelope and mail it to somebody in the phone book. Now can you imagine what would happen when they open that up? What the heck? Just a $20 bill in an envelope. So this slide is the key to metaphysics. This is why this is so important. This is the essence of our teaching. If you want your life different, you have to change your beliefs, your feeling, your speech, and your action. And then it just snowballs into joy and happiness. This is the key to metaphysics. Life experience changes because of these things and only because of these things. Good luck has no part in this whatsoever. And all you have to do is make one change today. Now, I've talked about a lot of changes you could make because I really want your money to be happy. I want you to be happy in your money. I don't want these little wrinkles to be there. I want you to be happy with your money. All you have to do is change one thing today and keep it changed. And then everything will be different a year from now. I promise you everything. One change today sends you on a completely different trajectory, and you are in a new place. You will have changed your experience. Okay? Pick one thing and do it. Thank you very much. And here is our going deeper. I look for and find something happy about money every day. That's what your change could be. Look for and find something happy about money every single day. Okay, all right, let's just make one change here now with the inner work as we move within. Oh, just take a deep breath, and when you breathe in, remember there is always enough. Always enough air, always enough everything. And I invite you into a place in your living experience that is already joyful. Something in your life that works and works well. I know for some people it's love. I know for some people it's a vibrant, healthy body. I know for some people that their life just gets happier and happier every minute. Go to one of those places in your life that really works. And if it's money, just stay there. That's great. And as you're in this happy place, suggest to yourself, my money can be here too. My money is God's money, just like my love is God's love. My health is God's health. My divine expression is God operating through me. Money can be in this happy place, and I will do what is in my power to do, which is a great and mighty collection of things, so that in this lifetime, I master my money and bring joy to myself and to others. And so it is. Amen.